Wonder Man is created by Destin Daniel Cretton, the same man who directed Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And he will be directing the upcoming, highly, very anticipated film, Spider-Man Brand New Day. He created this mini series alongside Andrew Guest. And yeah, like this series follows actor Simon Williams, played by Yaha Abdul Mateen II, as Simon Williams, and Trevor Slattery, played by Sir Ben Kingsley. Trevor Slattery, as they try to land roles in a remake of the film Wonder Man. So, so yeah, like so there were some things, going that happened, during the production and the development of this series before it officially, before it officially launched, and here we are now, like for example, you know, Creighton, in December 2021, Destin Daniel Creighton signed an overall deal with Marvel Studios to create television series for Disney Plus, with a comedy series already in development at that point. The series was revealed to be centered on Wonder Man in June 2020, in June 2022, with Andrew Guest involved and confirmed to be directing episodes. Yaha Abdul Mateen joined the cast. And then they were filming, and then production was shut down in late May 2023 because of the due to the 2023 Writers uh, Guild of America strike, the writers strike. But eventually it took some time, but eventually filming resumed by early January 2024 and concluded by that April. And yeah, the series was officially revealed in October 2024 of that year. But yeah, going into this show, before I break down, this actual show itself, going into the show, I, I love Yaha Abdul Mateen II. I love, bringing back the character of Trevor Slattery. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Wonder Man, if you know anything about Wonder Man, he's an actor. Yes, he is a member of the Avengers, or I should say the West Coast Avengers. But Simon Williams, he's a superhero. He's a superhero. He's an Avenger, but he's also an actor. And a TV show about an actor, of course, it would make absolute 100%, 100% sense, to bring back the character of Trevor Slattery, played by Ben Kingsley. Um, and it makes sense, and then bringing them, pairing them two up. I just didn't know where this show was going to go through, was going to be, until the trailer came out. Until the trailer came out, there were a couple trailers that came out. The recent one that came out, the final trailer that came out before the show premiered, like the trailers for Wonder Man have always been mediocre. I'll just say, I'll be completely honest with you. All right, I thought the trailers and the marketing for this show completely sucked. The trailers and the marketing, both of them completely sucked. I wasn't hyped. I wasn't anticipated for this show, and I had nothing. It looks funny, sure. It looks funny. But it also it could, it looked a bit endearing. It looked a bit endearing and, optimistic. But overall, like, I wasn't excited to watch the show. And then, the Rotten Tomatoes, the score, the reviews came out from the critics. The reviews came out, the Rotten Tomato score was officially revealed, and it got like a 91%. Last time I checked, it got like a 90-ish percent on Rotten Tomatoes. That's the critic score. And I was like, that is high. That is a high score. That is a high score for this show. And people have been, I've been reading the critic reviews, a majority of them, and I mean like so many of them. There were like like I would say like 10% of the critics, like maybe 8 to like 10% of the critics uh thought that this show was mediocre or just straight up garbage and a waste of time. But the rest of them, like majority of the critics, love this show. And I was like, okay, that sounds promising. That sounds pretty promising. And then the final trailer, the last trailer that came out, the final trailer where we get to finally see Simon Williams' powers in action, and it's not just him going through like it's not the same old shit that they've shown us a bunch of times. Him and Trevor trying to land roles in a remake of this film and meeting the director director of this film, Wonder Man. It's it's not the same. Like we get to see more, and I'm like, okay, this looks like there's something. There's a lot of energy coming from this final trailer. And then the show finally came out and premiered. Uh, all episodes dropped. Disney Plus dropped all episodes of Wonder Man, the whole show on January 27th. This past I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. No, I'm pretty sure it was yeah, I think it was Tuesday. 27th was Tuesday. It's the 30th now. Yeah, if I do my math correctly. Yeah, like it came, like all the show came, like the whole show came out on and came out on Tuesday. Here in you and here like where I here in my time zone, it came out like 9 p.m. on Tuesday night. And I binged watched the whole thing. I binged watched the whole show, Wonder Man. And I looked at the Disney Plus. I went to Disney Plus. I opened up Disney Plus and I looked at all the minutes. Like each episode, there's 8 episodes and each one of them are like 30 minutes long. Less than 30 minutes if you remove, the recap and the intro and the end credits. Then it's like 25 to like 28 minutes of like each episode. So you guys can binge watch this whole show. It's like 4 hours. So it's like a 4 hour, it's like roughly like estimated like 4 hours if you binge this whole show, which is what I did. I stayed up late Tuesday night and and I stayed up like past midnight to watch this show. Um but yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, I have got to say this, all right? Wonder Man is a breath of fresh air. It really is. It's a breath of fresh air, and it's refreshing. This show is meta. It's refreshing. It's character driven, for the MCU. It doesn't like I'm watching the show and it doesn't. It really doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a Disney Plus show. It doesn't feel like an MCU Marvel show. It just feels like just a show, like an ordinary, standard, average show about two actors who want to pursue the career, like their career, the career of a lifetime. That's it. That's pretty much it. It's just them, and it feels like I'm watching like an HBO Max show. Wonder Man feels like I'm watching this show feels like this doesn't feel like a Disney Plus show. It feels like an HBO Max show. I was gonna say Netflix, but I'm like, no, it's better than Netflix. It's kind of like Andor. Like Andor. In my opinion, Andor is better than the Mandalorian. Is better than the Mandalorian. Like I gave up on Star Wars. I fucking gave up. I tapped out on Star Wars for the mediocrity and the situations that's going on with the management over there. But I've given up on Star Wars. But but I went back to Star Wars when I've been hearing nothing but just incredible, exceptional reviews and feedback from critics, and both critics and the audience members of Andor. Everyone's saying this production, this Andor doesn't feel like a Disney Plus Star Wars show. It feels like an HBO Max, like golden, like Emmy nominated, winner type of, feel, like that type of show. That's what it feels like with Wonder Man. It's the Andor of the MCU Disney Plus TV shows. Like it is the Andor. It's a tonal departure from the standard, typical, generic Marvel formula where we have a hero and a villain and there's conflict. The two of them are from opposing sides and they fight each other again a couple times, and then eventually in the finale, the hero wins, or maybe it's a cliffhanger, and we don't know if this show's ever going to get picked up for a second season. Kevin Feige. But it kind of, it doesn't feel like that. There is no villain in Wonder Man. I mean, okay, there is no villain. There is a conflict. There is a conflict in a way. There is a conflict in the show. There is a villain in this show in a way that brings a conflict between between Simon Williams and Trevor Slattery. Without I don't That's all I'm gonna pause right there, because if I keep talking I'm gonna start spoiling, and I don't want to spoil anything about this show. But yeah, it's a tonal departure. I love the human drama, like the acting. Like I took 2 years of acting classes, of acting theater drama classes. The first year, the first year was the regular, theater drama. The second year was musical theater, and then I took one full semester, college semester, just about film, about film and filmmaking and the film industry too. But so I know a couple things. I don't know like every single thing, but I know like a majority. I know the basics, and I obviously know the basics, and I have a general knowledge of the entertainment industry, the writing. And let me tell you, like it is so relatable. It is so relatable. Simon Williams doing all these different takes for his audition, for an audition for a TV show or movie or whatever it may be. The writings, like they make jabs at Hollywood and the film industry, the entertainment industry. And because of that, it's so funny. It's so funny and it's so fun. Like I'm watching this show and I am so encaptured. Like I don't care about like Marvel or MCU. I just want to see Simon Williams and Trevor Slattery, both of these men. Yes, I know Trevor Slattery was a terrorist. He was the fake Mandarin. He was the fake Mandarin, a terrorist. But I think, but when you watch the show, there's one episode. Not gonna say much about it. Don't want to spoil it, but there is an episode where where I actually really felt bad for Trevor Slattery, for the character of Trevor Slattery, and he's so sweet, and Ben Kingsley is such a thespian. Like he's such a thespian when it comes to this character and what he brought into this show. And the same thing goes with Abdul Mateen. And he's like he really wants, Simon Williams really wants to be like, this is the career of a lifetime and all that. Like he's very passionate and enthusiastic about this remake of this movie Wonder Man. And I was really in for it. Like I was so encaptured by the human drama and the dialogues and the relatability and everything about that I just don't care about the whole Marvel shit. I don't care about the whole Marvel shit. You could just leave that at the door. I just want to see these two men succeed. But yeah, like the tone of this movie is best described is it's really grounded. It's a showbiz satire and a buddy comedy that leans into like it's funny because it's like a combination of Birdman, which is great. Like the Michael Keaton Birdman movie meets the studio I have not seen. I know, like it's on Apple TV. It's on Apple TV. I have Apple TV. I just never watched it. And Severance is on my list too. One of these days, I gotta get around to seeing the studio because I've heard great things. It's a satire comedy and Seth Rogen is involved. There's also cameos, appearances from like big like celebrities, which is crazy and amazing at the same time. So I got to get around to watching the studio. But the Birdman, on the other hand, I have seen the Birdman, and that movie was fantastic. And that movie was fantastic. Um, and the performances in this show, yeah, Abdul Mateen the second, who plays Simon Williams, and Ben Kingsley, who plays Trevor Slattery, are the show's greatest strength. With many, there's so many like highlights in their chemistry. You know, their bromance, their insane chemistry between them, like the dialogue just going back and forth, like these two men just having these conversations. It's great. And I love the storytelling. This standalone story that doesn't require homework, which is why it's under the Marvel Spotlight banner. If you don't know anything about Marvel Spotlight, I believe Echo was the first Marvel Spot. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Echo was the first Marvel Spotlight, like miniseries, television series, to receive that Spotlight banner. But but unlike Echo, this one's better than Echo. Wonder Man is better than Echo. Um, if you don't know anything about Marvel Spotlight, it basically means you don't worry. You guys don't need to do any fucking homework. You do not need to go back and watch like dozens, all of the MCU movies in preparation for this show. You could just dive into Echo without watching anything else. Without anything else, well, maybe just Hawkeye because it's a spin-off from Hawkeye. Definitely watch Hawkeye first. Hawkeye first. But you know, hardcore Marvel fans have already seen Daredevil. But like technically, you need to see Hawkeye because Echo is a spin-off from Hawkeye. So you gotta see that first. But in this case, no, you do not have to see anything. You don't have to see any MCU, previous MCU movies or anything else, television series. Just dive right into Wonder Man. It's incredible. Um, and I did, and though, I did feel like the 30-minute one time left some character growth off screen. And the action in this show, it's very minimal. It's very light on traditional superhero action. The focus is on Simon trying to hide his powers to succeed as a serious actor, but you'll understand. But there's something that happens at episode 4. Yeah, episode 4, you understand why Simon is trying so hard to hide his powers because of something that happens in the show. Um and yeah, that's pretty much it, as he to succeed as a serious actor. The bromance, the major highlights in the show, ladies and gentlemen, the bromance, the unlikely friendship between the struggling Simon and the washed up Trevor Slattery is the heart of the show. Um, many people, including myself, noted that Slattery is transformed from a joke character into a fully developed individual with genuine emotional depth. I mean, like, he was introduced in Iron Man 3, and he was the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3. He was the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3, in Iron Man 3, and then we haven't seen him in like almost a decade, and then he pops, and then after like a decade he pops up. I mean, he did technically, he popped up in a like a TV short, All Hail the King Marvel short, but like, I mean, like in a movie, he hasn't been in a movie since until like the from Iron Man 3 to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That, and then like, oh my god, like, we Trevor, we haven't seen you in like a decade. We haven't seen you in nearly a decade. Um but yeah, like in this show, he's a fully developed individual with genuine emotional depth, because there's so much layer, because it's like 8 episodes, 30 minutes each, of just getting to know the character of Trevor Slattery, this joke fucking fake Mandarin turned into this really fully developed character. It's so amazing. Um and episode 4, the Doorman episode, this, without getting in too much into it, it is definitely the series peak episode, and there is a hilarious meta guest appearance by a beloved Disney actor or actress or actress. But yeah, it is it's so, and the whole episode felt like a surrealist style of Atlanta. If you Atlanta, I don't know anything about Atlanta. I think it's a T. I think I looked it up. I think it's like a TV show, and looking at the pictures and the posters and reading the synopsis of the plot of Atlanta, I'm definitely feeling that vibe. It definitely has that vibe. But yeah, just keeping that in mind. There is also some meta commentary. The show does satires the film industry, especially the Doorman episode, and an in-universe rule that bans superpowered individual from acting in Hollywood. That is not a spoiler, because it did. I think it was mentioned. I'm pretty sure it was mentioned in one of the trailers, or no, no, not the. It was either the trailer or the poster, or the very first poster for Wonder Man. For Wonder Man, something about superhero satire, superhero fatigue, discussing the topic about bringing up the topic of superhero fatigue. But yeah, but yeah, the standout, direction, is it's great. The standout direction is great. Um, with directors Daniel Cretton and Andrew Guest, navigated a low stakes narrative that feels more personal and astray than recent Marvel efforts like Thunderbolts or Ironheart. Um, I heard like some people criticized. I did read some reviews, some critics' reviews. Some critics felt like the episodes ranging from 26 to like 36 minutes were too short to fully explore Simon's relationship with his powers. I don't really care. I don't mind. I don't not care. I should say I don't mind. I don't mind, because this show flew by really fast. Um, and the pacing, you know, the pacing, that while the meta humor is sharp, the superhero elements sometimes felt like a window dressing until a late game curveball in the finale. I heard about that one. Another issue that a lot of people have had, but it was not really my, it wasn't really my issue, but that Simon can occasionally come across as narcissistic, with the show sometimes rewarding his behavior rather than challenging it. Um, But that is true. That it is true that critics have made that point. It is true. He does come as a narcissist, as a narcissistic. Now that I'm thinking about it, but that's not really my issue. The issue that I have was my one issue was episode 5. I don't know why, but like there's a part of my mind that's like episode 5 felt like a filler, like a mostly filler episode, like a side quest. In order for you, like if in order for me to give you this, you have to do something for me first. And I'm like, and they spend the entire episode task, doing this task, and I'm like, this feels like a video game. If this show was a video game, this would be its very first side quest, and I'm like, what the fuck? But besides that, this show is a breath of fresh air and a great step back from the generic standard typical, oh, Marvel hero villain fight conflict, people die, drama, tense, suspension, all just like all the just like your standard typical Marvel MCU bullshit. Well, not just Marvel, just superheroes in general, comic books in general. But you guys definitely need to check out Wonder Man. It's great. It's great and a breath of fresh air, and I just love everything. Well, everything about about this show except the fifth episode, in my opinion. But everything else, I just love the satire. I love the meta commentary, taking jabs at celebrities, making jokes about celebrities and the film industries, while not, obviously not criticizing it too harshly, where it becomes, where people are going to start making controversial, comments and shit like that. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. Like, Marvel has been really knocking it out of park. Um, by the way, guys, I do side note. All right, side note. Um, I rewatched, with the exception of Captain America: Brave New World, because I rewatched everything, all the Marvel movies and TV shows that came out last year, 2025, and I will say this. Uh, you know, I will say this. With the exception of Captain America: Brave New World, because that movie legitimately sucks. Daredevil Born Again. Oh, well, actually, Daredevil Born Again, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I've been holding. Yes, I finally saw your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, that animated show. I thought that the trailer looked stupid, but it had like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It had like a 99, 90 plus 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. That I saw that one, and it is really great. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that animated show that came out last like January, I think it was January 2025. It was great. January 2025, Daredevil Born Again, with the exception of Captain America: Brave New World, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Daredevil Born Again, and yes, I did rewatch Ironheart. I did rewatch Ironheart. And I already did my review for Ironheart, and I said that I left the show. I dropped the show because it sucked. Like the first 3 episodes were so bad, and I was like, I tapped out, and I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, fuck this shit. This show sucks. But I but I tapped out on Ironheart, but I went back and I saw the finale. I skipped episode 4 and 5 and just went straight to the finale. Um, and then, but now recently, I watched the whole show, including episode 4 and 5 for the first time. And I will say this: Ironheart, the first 3 episodes were pretty mediocre. Were pretty mediocre. But episodes 4 through 6, the finale, all the way to the finale, was really good. It picked up the pace. I felt like the directing, the style, the tone, like it started picking. Everything started to pick up dramatically, like not dramatically, drastically. It started to pick up a lot, and by the finale, I was like, "This is really not bad. This is actually pretty solid. This is a pretty solid show. Not bad." Thunderbolts is great. Fantastic Four was great. Like it seems like, and now Wonder Man is great. Marvel Zombies was whatever. Marvel Zombies was a fun little one-off throwaway show, one-off throwaway show. But yeah, I gotta say, Marvel has been really doing a great job. Marvel's been doing a great job with their content. I mean, really, if they keep this up, I'm gonna be really excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day, the new Vision TV show, Vision Crest, and obviously, of course, everything leading up to Avengers Doomsday at the end of this year. If Marvel continues this up, like Daredevil Born Again, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, 50% of Ironheart, 50, okay, fuck it, 60% of Ironheart. All right, 60% of Ironheart. Um, I did watch Eyes of Wakanda too. That was I, that was 50%. It was alright. It was whatever. Fantastic Four. Like it seems like Marvel's definitely really picking up the pace, and I can't wait. I can't wait if Marvel continues this track. And I'm very excited that Daredevil is coming back with season 2. The trailer came out this week, sometime this week, and Jessica Jones is back, baby. And Daredevil has finally got a new suit with and he's finally got the double D's, the Daredevil emblem on his chest. I just can't wait. Marvel is slow, Marvel is finally coming back. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say for Wonder Man. Overall, this is great. Overall, it's a great satire and all that great stuff. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say. Please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe because that will help me and my YouTube channel out a lot. I'm thankful for all of you. Love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.